was lifted.
It's a tough word.
We've had 5 trades actually come through here, according to my my calculations. So let's go ahead and inform the general public what trades we are referring to. Bub, why don't you go ahead and let us know a few, and I'll take a few here as well.
Yellow Peril. Coach Jae-Young Kim is receiving.
Terrible year he had. Terrible.
And by the way, he was 2-1, and then he lost like 11 straight.
And the 2 was he scored the most points.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's getting RG3 from you.
Yes.
And you are receiving his 2013 5th round pick.
Yep. So I mean, obviously, Coach Jae-Young is going to be using RG3 as his keeper, and
surprised you didn't. Well, I guess, yeah, okay, never mind. Forget I said that.
No, what?
Well, no, because I thought maybe you might think about keeping him, but...
Yeah, no, I did, yeah. It was between him and Brady, obviously, and I really, I would have been open to trading Brady and keeping RG3. I even would have been open to trading them both, and maybe getting another keeper player. And with that being said, I mean, I'm not locked in on keeping Brady, although I'm guessing based off the trades that we're going to be announcing here, there's not many teams left that are looking for a keeper.
Right.
But if you are or whatnot, then feel free to let me know. But so at this point, tough to see RG3 go after having such a great season for me, draft pick of the year. I love his style of quarterbacking from a fantasy standpoint, but obviously I can't keep 2 guys, so I got to use them to try to better myself for next year, and I think probably a good trade for Jae-Young as well. What else do we got, Bub?
We have Coach John Costanza of the Amber Alerts,
who, by the way,
will not be the Amber Alerts anymore.
Yes, he was. Well, I think I guess we'll officially start. His new name change will be in D10. I don't know if we maybe want to. Let's not reveal.
He's announced it though.
Well, he told me, and I tweeted it out. So you know what? If you want to know what it is, go to the Riverdale Gazette Twitter page and check it out. If you don't, or then you're gonna have to wait and see.
I'll tell you what. I think I'm surprised he hasn't had this name already.
Yeah.
I figured,
right.
It's
a name that when you see or think of, you're like, yup, that makes sense. Yep. That should be what his name is.
Anyway, he is receiving D9 Bowl, Dynasty Bowl, D9, this previous game that just played, MVP.
There you go. He got it out.
Trade deadline. Drew Brees. Drew Brees is going to coach John Costanza.
He's a quarterback man is what he is.
He is. Yep. And that is coming from Coach VIP on Swole, Coach Chris Heney, who is receiving a 2013 4th and 7th, which was originally Brutal's.
Yep.
So 4th and a 7th.
4th and a 7th for Brees. Pretty fair overall. Makes sense for both teams. VIP can't keep Brees. John loves his quarterback. And I guess for John's sake, he's hoping that Brees continues his streak of being scooperless and going to a 4th consecutive Dynasty Bowl. And then there's another trade, Bub, here. Looks like you've been handed here. Thanks, Becky.
Yeah. Yes, we have one more. Well, I have one more. We have a couple more.
Yes.
Coach Ben Green of the Boston Loggers receiving...
Strong second half of the season for him.
I think he ended up, 7 wins or 6 wins?
6 and 9, yeah, but I think he won like 4 of his last 6 or something like that. So
sneaky good.
Sneaky.
He is receiving LaShawn McCoy, who I had 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And who was awesome. Not so much this year. Bad team. He's receiving LaShawn McCoy, and Brutal is receiving a 6th round pick in 2013.
Yep. So again, makes sense from both ends. No need to really analyze that. Then I have 2 trades here that I'm going to announce involving you, Bubba. Handy Quacks is going to be receiving Arian Foster, and you, Bubba, are going to be receiving not this upcoming year, but a 2014 Dynasty 11 3rd round pick. Care to kind of talk to us a little bit about that, Bob?
Well, I already don't have a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick in this coming draft, so I kind of just resigned myself to play for D11. So I had a couple offers for Foster, but I thought this was the best one. So I'm already looking good for D11.
Yeah, quite a while to look forward to it, but hey, you never know what could happen next season, and you're maybe setting yourself up for the D11 season. And then the other trade here, the last trade to announce here is Hong Kong Cavaliers. There's going to be receiving Doug Martin, formerly of VIP. And
Black Doug Martin.
Yes. VIP is going to be receiving a 2013 9th round pick, which was originally actually my pick. So a 9th round pick for Doug Martin. Again, makes sense. Doug Martin going to Hong Kong. And VIP getting a 9th round pick. So I guess VIP's traded away Breeze and Martin getting a 4th, 7th, and 9th. So he, guess
why not? He's looking to repeat. 30% chance.
So there you go. But we didn't mention this before. We don't really like to talk about the consolation round, but Brutal had quite the fucking game.
He did.
186 points. At a certain moment during that game, I was thinking that your 201, I think it was 201 point record was in jeopardy. But I mean, doesn't really mean much. But I guess Brutal only lost his first round game to Phil by 1 point. So I mean, if he obviously we can all play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game a billion times over about a billion different things. But if Brutal did end up getting into the Dynasty Bowl, he obviously would have won. So
you know what's fun to think about? A lot of us, and by that I mean a couple of the coaches in the Dynasty, thought you would call out Brandon.
Yeah.
And if you had done that, he would have won the first week.
Yeah.
And then he would have won the Dynasty Bowl.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brandon.
Kicking
the nuts.
Nutsack.
The Dynasty Podcast brings you an interactive and likely ridiculous segment with borderline on actual legit media. Buckle up your fucking seatbelts for the Dynasty Podcast interactive segment.
All right, now, as it should be, on the final guest of the Tom Berkowitz Trucking Hotline. He is the son of Tom Berkowitz himself and spokesperson for the Tom Berkowitz Trucking. His name is Jimmy Berkowitz. You may know him already. He joined us at the party, the post-draft get-together. Jimmy, thanks for joining us here on the show.
Of course, I'm glad you guys called me. Finally part of the program.
Yes. Well, Jimmy, due to the absolutely incredible popularity of the Dynasty, have you seen the profits at Tom Berkowitz Trucking skyrocket over the past few months? I'm sure the answer is yes. I guess I'm just kind of wondering, how much did the profit skyrocket? Like, are we talking billions of dollars or trillions of dollars?
Well, I was oddly confused because perhaps at work, but there has not been any spike in dead hooker disposals yet. I really would have thought after all your publicity that would have skyrocketed, but it really has been stagnant.
Okay. So let me just get this straight, Jimmy. The dead hooker, I guess, has not increased. So there are still some, but not more than usual, which actually does also surprise me, considering some of the coaches we have in this league. You know, the Whiffins, the John Costanzas, and whatnot. But in general, your profits, I'm sure, must have gone through the roof.
Apparently with all the football fanatics that watch the show, they're all apparently cheap as well, because no, they have not changed whatsoever.
Son of a bitch.
Damn it!
Exactly.
Wow.
Where's $20 another spent?
Oh, you don't mean that.
No, of course I don't mean that. I've actually listened to a couple of the podcasts. I enjoyed it, so it was worth it to have my name thrown out there with such garbage that you guys throw out there, but I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, and along those same lines, Jimmy, and Bub can attest this, we worked really hard to ensure that Tom Berkowitz Trucking has gotten the appropriate exposure that you deserve for sponsoring our glorious league. We did a commercial for you guys during our keeper selection show. You may or may not have approved of the message of the commercial. We've promoted you guys within our Pulitzer Prize-winning Riverdale Gazettes. And most importantly, we've plugged the shit out of you guys within this very podcast. And as a matter of fact, we've actually had some celebrities, such as the creator of Nerf, Ren Geyer, read Tom Berkowitz Trucking ads on the show. We even actually had Howard Stern Show's Steve Brandano tweet out to over 21,000 people the link to this podcast, which plugs you guys. So we